Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Liberate Lunations. My name is Eleonora, and today we're going to be talking about the Gemini New Moon that happens on Monday, May 30th, with its peak time of 4:30 a.m., and that's for Pacific Standard Time. Now, what a breath of fresh air after this very intense eclipse season that we've had the past month and a half. Mercury, which is the ruler of Gemini, is still retrograde. So be careful with this new moon and the intentions that you put out. But without further ado, let's just get into it. First aspect that we're going to touch on is going to be Jupiter-Mars conjunction in Aries. So now we know Mars is very at home in Aries, so it has all the tools that it needs and resources to just get it going. And this aspect is giving me the most big moves energy I have ever seen. So it's kind of a let's try and push the boundaries and see how far we can go and how far we can get. Very urgent energy, like must be done now and in the biggest way possible. So be careful. Make sure you do think before you do things, especially with Mercury still being retrograde. We want to make sure that the intentions that we're setting out this time around have been thought through thoroughly and we're not just acting on passing feelings. Next up, we do have Pluto in Capricorn trine Mercury retrograde, who just slid back into Taurus a few days ago. So even though I am tired of Pluto and Capricorn, like I am ready for it to be out of there, I think this can give us a little perspective on the impact our words have, not only on ourselves, but on the people around us. How do you want to empower yourself and your friends, your family, your loved ones? How would you like to overcome some obstacles and blockages that are coming up during this retrograde period? Keep in mind, we're still in a period of revising, revisiting, all the re's. So take your time to do this. Lastly, we do have Neptune in Pisces, sextile Mercury retrograde in Taurus. So I think this can help with the Pluto trine and kind of soften a little bit of the energy and bring a little bit more creativeness and empathy towards that. Because I feel like Pluto sometimes can be a very blunt and self-analyzing energy. So Neptune in there definitely brings another perspective, a more spiritual and esoteric perspective to our healing journey. So I think it's a good aspect to help us kind of see what we want to restructure and how we want to revisit and have basically like move these patterns around and change these patterns around communication, around thought processes, and around how we really navigate life in general. A last honorable mention of Venus being in its home sign of Taurus. Finally, we know she'll be meeting with the North Node and Uranus at some point, but for now, let's enjoy that. Bask in the gratefulness that is Venus in Taurus and just kind of find times to treat yourself. Okay, next up, we're going to pull a card for everyone. No, because the cards, I didn't even do anything. They just fell out. Aries and Capricorn. We're going to put them back in because we already know, okay? Those energies are already present. So let's see what else comes up. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we had a few of them come up. Oh my God. We have Mars, which is a key player in this lunation already. So we know that Martian energy, very go-getter, drive, passion, especially now that it's in its home sign of Aries. It is very much blunt and it's a get out of my way attitude. We have the fourth house as well, which is more of like roots, ancestry, our home, safety. So really pay attention to those themes right now, what's coming up in your surroundings. Do you have a place where you feel 100% safe, like you can express yourself and you can nurture yourself? Or do you need, maybe that's something, maybe these are things that we need to bring more of in our lives, that is up to you to decide. And last, we got the solar eclipse, which is really funny. I just think that this serves as a warning almost of like, be careful what you put out there, because we know during eclipses, energy is kind of chaotic and you'll get like 10 times what you put out, you'll get it back. It's not like a regular full and new moon, but in this case with the solar eclipse, new moon on steroids. So just really be careful and be thorough of the intentions that you want to put out there. And if you are not sure, then best to just sit back and let it flow. For crystals to recommend, I'm going to recommend ocean jasper this time around because I think it can help with any release or unnecessary fears or doubts that we have on ourselves that might be blocking our vision. So I think that's a good stone to release all that, to have a clearer idea of what we want for ourselves. And it also serves as a healing and protective stone. I would still pair this with your choice of grounding crystal though, like either tourmaline, obsidian, smoky quartz, you name it, whatever it is. I just think together they would probably work better. For events to recommend, make sure to check the description down below. We have a few really good new moon events this time around. All right, you guys, that is it for this new moon in Gemini. I'm excited for a new cycle. I'm sending everybody much, much love, many, many blessings, and have a very happy new moon.
A reading is shared time and space with someone who is spiritually connected.
An opportunity to get clarity and reassurance, guidance on any area of your life that you may feel stuck or not in flow with.
So readings are basically extremely helpful for you to make decisions that needed to be made.
For having clarity on life's questions, healing, empowerment to move someone from fear to being empowered.
When you're feeling stuck, when you can't answer the question yourself, when you find yourself in a little bit of a spin out.
I don't think there's anything that a reading is not good for.
You know, the perfect time for a reading can be any time.
We are constantly changing, so we are constantly coming up against obstacles or reoccurring patterns that we need to check in with.
When things just feel really heavy and dark, and you might be a little confused about some of the things on your path, maybe certain relationships or opportunities.
So we all have blind spots. So when you find yourself in a blind spot, that's a really good time to get a reading.
So readings are good to check in to find out where your progress is through the eyes of someone else who's holding you in the highest good for all concerned.
Change is always good ultimately, and sometimes it's hard to see that, and readings bring you back to that center of what it's for you.